Hello and welcome viewers and subscribers of AVG News. Mkolisi, the son of Ngube, is my name, and I hope I find you well. Well, today is the 1st of April. We avoided recording early in the morning for obvious reasons, that a number of people and a number of content creators and journalists were busy with their April Fool's Day stuff, so we decided not to take away that glamour from them and not to confuse people, because at the end of the day, you wouldn't know what exactly to take out of what has been reported from, or to tell the truth or fact from April's Fool's Day joke. So what we want to do, or what I want to talk about right now, is a post-mortem of what transpired yesterday. You know, many of you were expecting a protest or an uprising, as was promised by the ZANU-PF Central Committee member and World Veterans leader, that is Blessed GEZA. We had promised, as you would know, that on the 31st of March, there was going to be an uprising against President Emmerson Mnangagwa. He had promised that a number of things were going to happen and they were going to force President Emmerson Mnangagwa out. Well, I covered some of the protests that happened in Pretoria, where a handful of Zimbabweans went there to demonstrate and hand over a memorandum of complaints or a petition to the Zimbabwean embassy. They also addressed their petition to the Southern African Development Community, that is the SADC, as to what they wish to see happening in Zimbabwe, which is the removal of President Emmerson Mnangagwa and his replacement by a National Transitional Authority to be led by Vice President Constantino Chiwenga. Also, you know that yesterday as well, there were supposed to be protests in Zimbabwe, or rather an uprising. We are told that in many of the cities, nothing actually took place, but in Harare, there were some people who demonstrated, police fired tear gas, they dispersed some crowds, but also we get that 95 people were arrested. Some of you might have already seen that, were arrested and they were taken to court today by the police. We don't know what is actually going to happen to them, but they were being charged with public violence. We don't know what they actually did, because what we were told is that they were peacefully protesting, but of course we were not there, so we will not speak on anybody's behalf in terms of that issue. But also you saw Blessed GEZA addressed Zimbabweans yesterday from a secret location, where he said that the March 31 event was a launch of a long concerted effort to try and get President Emmerson Mnangagwa out. But he said that according to him, that was a success, because even though people did not turn out, he then called it a stairway, that it was a proper show of support that he has within Zimbabweans. But of course, from our own analysis, we would agree with many of those who say that the event was a flop, because not a huge turnout came out. There wasn't a huge turnout of protesters, especially back home in Zimbabwe, which means that it was not much of a success. And then you saw, or if you didn't, the ZANU-PF spokesperson, Chris Mutsvangwa, addressed also a press conference today in which he was laughing at the failure of the protest that was meant to remove President Emmerson Mnangagwa from power. But also he gave something inadvertently out when he said that the changes that happened within the military happened at the right time before the 31st, because it ensured that the military was in safe hands yesterday, which is a clear indication, as we have been hearing and saying, that the military is not as united as it is supposed to be behind President Emmerson Mnangagwa. We have been told that it's a 50-50 chance, or a 50-50 split of loyalty between President Emmerson Mnangagwa and Vice President Constantino Chiwenga. So Mutsvangwa today inadvertently let that cat out of the bag by stating that the changes were actually meant to prevent any military action against the president, yesterday, and even mentioned the March 31 event, which means that even though the event wasn't a success as much as some people would have wished, or as much as Gaza and these people or those behind him would have wished, it also still touched off a raw nerve. That is why you saw the heavy deployment of security personnel, especially the police, and the heavy-handed manner in which they reacted to those that tried to protest. It shows you that there was a lot of panic, there was a lot of uncertainty as to how it was going to pan out, especially if people were allowed to go out and protest. So this is what shows that it's not all well. But Gaza said in his address that he's going to address people tomorrow and give a new direction that he was taking, because he said that one of the people that is shown, Mnangagwa, he mentioned him by name, said he bought some explosives that he wanted to blow up certain areas or certain places, and then so that they would link that with Gaza himself and accuse him of treason or of being a terrorist. So he said that he's calling off the protest, but he's going to give a new direction tomorrow. So we await to hear what it is that he's going to talk about, and we will come back to update you. But we'll also keep our ears on the ground, our eyes open, so that whatever happens and whatever we get, we'll come back here and update you. But for now, this is where we leave it. Please have a wonderful night, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it. Thank you.